All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the NFL draft is less than 2 weeks away, and the Chiefs, they don't have a fatal flaw. They don't have a huge glaring weakness. Obviously, they just won the Super Bowl. But when I take a look at that wide receiver room, I still think it could be upgraded. I still think it is going to be tweaked. Now, if you've been watching my Chiefs videos all offseason, I still believe DeAndre Hopkins will be a Kansas City Chief at some point. It's taken a lot longer than I was envisioning, but the Kansas City Chiefs, the wide receiver room, you lost Juju. That was the big storyline. You lost Hardman. Hopefully they don't end up losing Jerick McKinnon. I really hope he's back in a Chief uniform. But you acquired Kadarius Toney last season. You still have MVP Mahomes. You still have MVS. You still have Sky Moore. You acquired Richie James. You brought back Justin Watson. But that MVP Mahomes and that Travis Kelce, the best tight end in NFL history, that duo, that combo right there is why there is no reason for panic. There's no reason for concern, especially considering, last offseason, all the, the kind of the jabs going at Kansas City was, oh my goodness, you just lost Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. That can't be it. So they have 10 draft picks, all right? And I fully anticipate in the first 3 rounds they will take a wide receiver. But like I said, I still think Hopkins will be a Chief, but that's all just speculation. So we're going to deal with facts in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Chiefs Kingdom, appreciate you guys so much. I'm very eager to hear what you guys have to say about that wide receiver room down below. But let's try and get this video to 250 likes. That really helps the algorithm and really helps these videos get out to more Chiefs fans. So, Richie James. All right. They re-signed Justin Watson, who last season, 15 catches, 315 yards, 21 yards per reception, and a couple of touchdowns. That was a recent move, or an April move, I should say. They signed Richie James in the last, 10 days? Richie James, I really like for this Chiefs team. I really like the depth body that this does. I think it gives them versatility. I think it gives them flexibility, not only on offense, but just in the offseason in general, especially for the draft. Richie James is 27 years old. All right, he played last season for the New York Giants. He caught 57 balls for 569 yards and 4 touchdowns. Those are not bad stats for a non-wide receiver 1, a non-wide receiver 2, more of just a complementary depth body to have, especially on the Giants. Those are good statistics. But let me tell you why I'm really excited for Richie James on this Chiefs team. The Chiefs last season, it's no surprise, their special teams was not good. In fact, to be specific, their punt return unit was horrendous. All right. So punt return, kick return, it was definitely a need for improvement in this offseason, and that's exactly what they did. Richie James on 75 career punt returns has averaged 7.3 yards. So that's very impressive. He's also returned 47 kickoffs. So just in general, this is it's a veteran, but it's not like a 33, 34-year-old veteran. This is a guy who has experience and expertise in a specific realm of special teams, which Kansas City desperately needs help with. So that's exciting. I also like the idea of Kadarius Toney being the punt returner, kick returner. To be honest with you, I think it's a little bit too risky, especially with Kadarius Toney's injury concerns. You just want to keep a guy like, freak athlete like Kadarius Toney as healthy as possible. So we'll see what happens with Richie James and that special teams unit next season. But nonetheless, I liked the addition. So once again, you got 3 rounds. All right, you have a bunch of picks in the first 3 rounds, but you have 3 rounds about to take a wide receiver that is going to be able to come in here and help you immediately, like an immediate impact. The reason I say that, there's usually about 15 wide receivers that come out of the NFL draft that are ready to come in and actually do end up making a big-time contribution on their teams. So I don't think it'll happen in the first round or, even maybe the second round for Kansas City. Once again, keep in mind they can trade up. They have a bunch of draft capital to make a trade if, they see a wide receiver and he slips and they're like, Let's at least pick up the phone. Let's give them a call and let's see if we can get something going. But I would imagine in the second round or in the third round is when Kansas City is going to make their push at a wide receiver. I really like the idea of getting Cedric Tillman wide receiver out of University of Tennessee. He is climbing up the mock drafts. He's climbing up big boards, so that is certainly something to keep in mind. But he's going to have an immediate impact to whatever team he goes to. He's physical, him and Hendon Hooker dealt with injuries last season. So we're going to go back to 2021. 64 catches, over 1,080 receiving yards, along with 12 touchdowns. He's a cat who, if Kansas City drafts him, you pair him up with Andy Reid, you pair him up with Patrick Mahomes, but you also have, you still have Travis Kelce, you have MVS, you have Kadarius Toney, you have all of these bodies where it just makes you versatile. There's not like a huge pressure. There's a huge gap that Tillman or any rookie wide receiver needs to come in and fill, with high expectations, Super Bowl champions, like, we need you to do this. We need you to be wide receiver one. It's not that. I think he would be an immediate impact for this Kansas City Chiefs team. Once again, I think he'll be an immediate impact to whatever team he gets drafted to, but I'm hoping it's Kansas City because I want to see him get paired up with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Now, they could look for a veteran. Don't recommend it. It's not even a money thing at all. It's just more so if we take a look at the veterans that are available in free agency, we're looking at Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry last season, 25 catches, 272 yards. After the first week of the season with the Saints, he pretty much did nothing. He's only 30. He is a 5-time Pro Bowler, but he never really had a step. He was never really a fast wide receiver. But since he first came into the league, he's lost many steps. So I don't think that's a good move for Kansas City. Kenny Golladay dealt with injuries last season. Julio Jones, 34 years old? He's dealt with a ton of injuries. If you're going to get a guy like Julio Jones, I think they would definitely draft a wide receiver still. I think they're going to draft a wide receiver regardless, but maybe if they traded for Hopkins, maybe then you make a move for Julio. I don't know. Julio would play like a very specific, like, third down role, red zone role at best. I don't think it's kind of a little bit of a, maybe not the riskiest of moves, but I don't know if the payoff is really worth it at all. Randall Cobb could be interesting. He's getting up there in age. However, towards the end of the season, when you start wanting guys to rely on, once he gets that chemistry going, Patrick Mahomes, I would imagine Randall Cobb signs with the Jets to be with Aaron Rodgers whenever Rodgers gets traded, but could be a name to look out for. I'm actually curious what Chiefs fans think about if Randall Cobb got signed by him. Demarcus Robinson, quick, speedy, athletic wide receiver. He's 28 years old. And as we all know, he spent a good portion, actually majority of his career, first 6 seasons of his NFL career with Kansas City. In fact, he had 2 back-to-back 50-plus target seasons and almost 500 yards receiving in both of those years. Spent the last year with Baltimore, where he did a good job, 48 catches, 458 yards. So, maybe their best route is to take a guy like Cedric Tillman in the 3rd round or late 2nd round or what have you, and sign a guy who's familiar with you, he's familiar with Mahomes, he's familiar with Reid, all of that good stuff, like Demarcus Robinson, and you just go into next season and see how it goes. And if it's a huge concern, well, a trade could certainly happen, but DeAndre, man, the Cardinals, they're such a mess right now. Like, the Arizona Cardinals, everybody's requesting trades. Nobody wants to be there. And it sucks because the new coach actually, I think he's going to get them right. It's just going to take some time. But for DeAndre's sake, there's no way DeAndre Hopkins plays a snap for Arizona next season. This guy will get traded, and I still think he's going to get traded to Kansas City. I just don't want to keep talking about it until news breaks out, because at that point, it's just speculation. And, it's a bunch of hoopla, right? Like, it's speculation. So let me know what you guys are thinking about that wide receiver position for Kansas City. Once again, it's not like the most dire of needs if they just take a wide receiver or 2 wide receivers in the NFL draft, but I would say it probably is their biggest need, which is good because it's not dire. You have Mahomes, you have Kelce, you have Reid, you have all these guys. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys later.